All right, hello everyone. I guys, hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we're here with the first episode on Cutting Edge Cards. This is going to be an introductory episode so that you guys can get to know me as a person and as a card collector more so. And yeah, I figure we're going to make a lot of videos together. You guys can get one to know me, and then everyone can reference back to this eventually, and we can all watch it. The setup may improve in the background, who knows. This is actually much better than it was before, so we'll call it a good day. So who am I? My name is Alec. I went to school for math. I ended up graduating this semester, and I have a side, I guess it's my main YouTube channel that has 70,000 subscribers, and I've been enjoying that greatly. That's my main focus right now. And on the side, I have been collecting sports cards, looking at sports card prices, and now making a sports card YouTube channel. It has been something I've dedicated so much time to. I figure, may as well give me something to have an end goal at. I'm someone that likes making videos, so this seemed pretty natural. But yeah, I started getting into sports cards probably about 3 months ago or so. Not with the Gary Vee hype, like shortly after. Luckily, it got pretty expensive there for a second, depending on what you were looking at. And it was from a buddy of mine that just has been collecting cards for a while. He mentioned it to me, and I'm someone that likes sports. I've traded FIFA cards on Ultimate Team for money, just for fun, for like 2 or 3 years. So, I have a problem. I just like making money, doing stuff, even if it doesn't benefit me, like in FIFA. I don't know. So yeah, to finally have something that I can, do that with real money, it's enjoyable. Obviously, you gotta, be a little skeptical. As far as what main sports I watch or collect, I'll kind of break down how I watch them and how I collect them. The NBA, I probably watched the most these last couple years. Before that, it wasn't my main sport, but now it definitely is. I don't collect it the most, though, because it's very expensive. I either collect people that I think are already good, or like in a second, third year type situation where they might start to hit that level and they're kind of underrated. I don't like rookies, so they're just all hyped for the most part. I only have one this year that I even really bought a decent amount of. As far as the NFL goes, I moderately watch it, moderately collect it. Like, I watch basically every Sunday. I'm watching from beginning to end a day. I'm just not focused on particular teams. I'm like a red zone viewer, or I would, bet games every now and then and watch the game that I bet. So it's pretty simple as far as what I watched. And I'm from Ohio, so you could say I'm a Ohio fan for things. Like, with the Browns, I would always kind of like root for them, just in a sad sense that they were so bad. I wish they'd do better. Now that they're doing okay, they're a little cocky, and I don't really care for it. And the Cavs, I like the Cavs. I like LeBron. But I'm a LeBron stan because, like every Cleveland organization, they're incompetent. So I've noticed that, and I don't like bad organizations. There's no point in that. So yeah, that is where I'm at as far as that goes. NBA, NFL, lots of those. UFC, I actually probably watch more than the NFL. I don't know. I watch all of these three pretty immensely. I don't collect much UFC, though, because it's just hard to find stuff, honestly. If there was more, maybe I would, but I don't know. Love watching it, though, and definitely happy to have it back. And then as far as soccer goes, that's kind of like my last one that I'm moderately in on. I watch it the least out of these four. However, I know probably the most people because of my FIFA Ultimate Team time. So I know a lot of players. I've seen a lot of the good players on good teams. And if I'm ever going to invest into someone, I definitely do a lot of research and watch full games, not just highlight reels. So if I'm ever investing, know that it's coming from a place where I've seen them. If I'm talking about them, most of the time I've seen them. But if they're kind of, on an off team somewhere, maybe not. Like a lot of U.S. men's national team players, that's just American bias, obviously. I feel like whenever soccer hits in America, the cards of U.S. men's national team players could just explode. I'd be pumped. And if not, then that's where we're at now, probably. So I'm okay with that. In baseball, I don't really watch as much anymore. I used to watch it a ton, but just kind of out of it now. So a lot of my personal collection will have older Yankees players in it, but I'm not really as keen as new guys. I have a couple Mike Trouts because I know he's godlike, but you start getting below the top 5 or 10 baseball players, I honestly don't watch at all. So maybe that'll change if it's the only sport on eventually, but for now that's where that's at. So yeah, mostly basketball, football, UFC, soccer. That's where I'm at, and that's where my collecting is at. As far as some trends that I like, I'll share some of those with you guys so that you can get an idea where I kind of like to spend my time. As far as my card collecting goes, like a lot of other people, I think goats are good investments long term, and just enjoyable to have because they're great players, obviously. So just established people, mostly from this era. I would go back and have gone and delved into like 90s or 80s basketball players, but with the MJ doc, this is such a bad time. So I had to have done that immediately when I got into it. And since I didn't, I missed the train. And you got to know when you miss the train. And I've stayed away from those, may eventually get into them, but not right now. So mostly goats that are playing now and within the last couple years of their career or have recently retired but aren't too hype. I like a lot of the Prism from, their very earliest edition to like 2017 or so. Most of that I think was good product. In the NBA now, I think there's just a lot of it, and I'm not too stunned by the design. Honestly, how complex their main base designs start getting, it starts to make me a bit more of a fan of the optics. So I've started to prefer the later optic. As far as soccer goes, I do like the World Cup Prisms. I bought myself 2 sets of the 2018 a few weeks back. Like that a lot. Been buying 2014, 2018 Prism cards for soccer because I just feel like your average person that's getting into it is going to, like regular Prisms and not some random sticker that is just overseas and hard to get. And their prices are nowhere near the same. So I've been kind of stealing Prisms when I can, and optic if the Prisms are too expensive in my opinion, like with some of the new basketball. And then in general, just not as much basketball the last couple of years or cards from the last couple of years of basketball. It's kind of just been blowing up lately. I don't like investing in like rookies or sophomores in theory anyway, so to do it in a time when cards are starting to climb, people are starting to submit more, it's definitely a time that I'm trying to avoid. I have a Luka that, I personally think Luka is goated. And I know that it's a hype train card, but I think he's it. So I got one card and call that, and just never go too overboard in a section if you know it may not be the best of looks. And yeah, I mean, that's basically where I stand from a card collecting standpoint right now. As far as what I've been doing lately, like I said, a lot of soccer. I mean, above me, I have this little case back here. That's a Zlatan PSA 9. That's like a Maradona 3rd or 4th year that is like a 4, which it's not great, but it's something. And I kind of like the old cards. They're very sick to just have and see. And then a Pulisic or 2 up there as well. So, and for the most part, whenever I, buy cards or invest, I'm doing so in a strategy where like 70% of my money is in great players that are already established, 20% in, moderately iffy players, and 10% in players that I'm not sure, but we'll give it a shot. And I have a decent amount of this player that would lie in the last category. I don't know, with soccer, I have a couple Pulisics, and I have a ton, I just got a ton today of these Giovanni Reynas. I just wanted to get in early on those two because I feel like with U.S. men's national team hype, both that is going to come in the near future and with, World Cup and our team getting better throughout these next few years, I just think it's going to definitely pick up steam, and so I want to get in early, and I will start to backlog some of my collection with all-time greats. I've been trying, but the card supply for older cards with soccer is just so hard, but I want them so bad. But yeah, as I was saying, this is one that I recently have gotten into, and yeah, I mean, Reyna is absolutely sick. He's come on the scene the last, 4 or 5 months, I guess, not, other than COVID, probably like 2 to 3 months at Dortmund. And I just went through, looked at all of his minutes, watched him play. And I mean, compared to anything the U.S. men's national team has had attacking-wise, he is it. I mean, just we're a team with no creativity in any sense. We're a team that does not like to attack space. We're pansies. We can't take on anyone. And I don't know if my lighting just changed or who knows, but he's so quick, so fluid. He's not pacey, but he's not really probably going to be asked to be pacey for the U.S. or for, teams that will use him appropriately. Like Dortmund is not asking him to run out on wings and do that for them. He's asking him to attack space and try to create for others. And at the end of the day, you want a goal scorer, but he is both a goal scorer and just an absolute machine with passing. His confidence with first touches and volleys are unlike anyone on the U.S. team. I mean, my God, every time, it just looks like we're so timid, so bad. And while he may not be, world-class to other people, and maybe Pulisic or Reyna aren't, you got to base it off of demand for a card. And in the U.S., there's going to be a bigger demand for a worse player just because that's how we are. And eventually, if one of these or any of these guys from the U.S. men's national team can really hit it big, he may go down as one of the greatest to do it for us, because we haven't really had too many, all-time greats combined soccer lately. So that basically covers it as far as who I am, I guess, and what I've been doing lately as far as picking up sports cards. A lot of soccer, but I've just been watching NBA on the sideboard, and I've just been trying to keep myself entertained with sports, even if I have to rewatch and do whatever I can in that regard. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you made it this far, that's really shocking. I appreciate that. If you want to leave a like, feel free. If you guys did enjoy it, obviously make sure to leave a like. Anything you want to tell me, let me know in a comment down below. And on top of that, if you want to see more videos about a plethora of different subjects in the future, feel free to subscribe as well. And with that said, hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.